Okay, use MPSC. Okay, use MPSC. So it's sync MPSC. Okay, so you can say Tokyo sync.
All right.
Okay, use MPSC. Okay, use MPSC. So it's sync MPSC.
Okay, okay.
Tokyo. Okay, so do I need Tokyo? All right, I'm streaming now. Cool. All right. I'm going to pause for the bait and John Kaizen stream, and I'll be chatting with him. I don't have much to stream yet because I'm just porting over all the code I've written to SoriaDB. Hopefully, when I do that, I'll have things to show. I think I already did some things here around Nuxt. Thank you for your time, and I will see you on Kaizen. Here is his channel for anybody that will watch this.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Go to his channel. Why is it not popping up for me? Why am I getting notification that you're streaming? Oh, there we go. It did 1 minute ago.
Alright. Oh, no, don't want that to be me.
I'm getting myself. That is.
This one.
Yes, Kaizen channel for those that want to check it up on YouTube and Twitch.
Pause that. And I want this
Thank
to be
you.
the main thing. I want this guy.
Alright. Go back.
Go over there, please. Yep. Okay. Well, since
Let's do this one. I think this one's good.
oh no, since he's stopped streaming, I will go ahead and just put my chat up here. Oh, I don't want to learn more. Thank you. And actually, I should stop using this browser because I'm signed into all kinds of things here. I'll go ahead and minimize that one. And we'll bring up Edge for just working. Come on. I haven't booted up Edge in a hot minute. No, I don't want to use semi alerts. Thank you. Alright. Let's make we've got view dev tools, so it can tell this is a Nuxt site. We'll open up the inspector. Additional dev tool components have been installed. Okay, that's great, thanks. We'll open up the console and let's put this there. Alright, now let's give this a refresh. And let's move. Nice to see you, nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. Alright, I'm going to move I'll move myself down a little bit. Actually, I think I'll be better way over here. Let's put me over here. And we'll just adjust the size just a little bit. Alright, there. I think I'm pretty out of the way there. I want to give my center one a little bit more space, so but that messes with the camera. Alright, it's got all the space it needs. Let's adjust the video or my little camera frame. Alright, cool. And that's still just a tiny bit bigger than that frame. It's so hard to get this precise with a trackball. That's good enough. Good enough. Okay. Now, let's take a look. So what was I in the middle of doing? I've totally forgotten what I was doing now. Is everything large enough to read? Let's up. No, not that one. Let's up the console a little bit too. Hopefully everything's big enough for everybody to read. So the thing that I am looking at the moment, and I think I'll bring my documentation. Let's see. I need a blank scene so that I can do stuff off screen for a second. I need to quit Chrome. Yep. And I'm going to bring my documentation over. Yep. Yep. Okay. Nothing personal to show now. All right. Cool. Clear on your end. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Let's make this font a little bit bigger as well. All right. Cool. So now we've got our documentation and we've got our editing and our app and our chat. So we've got our couple of scenes or whatever. So that'll work. What I'm looking at the moment is I've done a bunch of stuff so far. So I'm using Pocket Base for my back end. Mostly because I didn't want to set up an account with Supabase or something like that. So that's my one caveat here between using, what would you call it? Using like one of the popular setups. Usually they use Supabase or some other hosted solution. I'm using Pocket Based, which is almost a hosted solution, but it's not actually a hosted solution, and so yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I'm using Nuxt, and I'm trying to see what it is that people like about this development workflow. Because, it's very popular. Everybody, it seems like, who's doing a tutorial or a demo or a how-to or whatever, immediately the first thing is they connect their fresh front-end app to some sort of back-end as a service, and they are always using some sort of server-side rendered front-end, whether it's Solid Start or SvelteKit or Nuxt or Next 13 or Remix or whatever. They are all about the server-side rendering stuff. And yeah, so I want to see if I can, if using this for a little bit will change my mind on the validity of that. Because honestly, so far, I don't see it. I don't get what the hype is about. I don't know, because honestly, so far, all this has done, in my mind, is adding a whole lot of complexity. Because I'm using a Vue framework, which I'm very familiar with Vue. I've been using Vue for like 4 years professionally. I know Vue pretty well. And I normally use Quasar, so I mean it's a little bit different in that I'm using a different framework than my normal. But Quasar sticks pretty solidly to like the Vue default functionality. So whenever I spin up a Vite app with Vue, my experience is virtually identical. So, but other than the ability to compile an app and all that nicety. But yeah, so far I'm not seeing what the hype is about. So I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to finish out this little application, and maybe by the end I will have changed my mind. I think we need a little bit of music though. This is very quiet in here. So let's switch to blank so you're not seeing me pull up my music app. Yeah. I wish I could play popular music. But anyway, or music that I actually listen to, but we can't, so we'll listen to stream beats, I guess. And we'll just start playing. And we'll switch over to our scene again. Alright, cool. Where my music at? Where my music at? You're not playing. Why are you not playing? Hello? Okay, let's quit music and reopen it. Well, that's exactly what I didn't want to show on stream. There we go. Alright. Cool. I'll turn my own microphone up a little bit because I think I'm a little quiet. Alright. Okay. There we go. Alright, finally, back to this. So the thing I'm looking at now is routing. So I finally figured out how to get my authentication working with server-side rendering. So usually what I would do in a client-side application, this is the norm, is you would do your log, you'd send through an API request to your backend. It would log in, it would return a response. If you logged in correctly, it would return a token. You take that token and you'd put it in local storage or somewhere like that. Also in Pinia or whatever your storage solution on the front end is. But because this is being server-side rendered, local storage isn't available at the time that I'm making the request. So I can't use local storage. I can't use Pinia. Well, there might be a way to use Pinia with server-side rendering. I haven't honestly looked into it too much because I've been trying to figure out how to use Nuxt.js's use state. So they have this function called use state that's supposed to be SSR friendly. And yeah, but this is supposed to be their solution. So I've been trying to use it to figure it out. And I've got that working. You have to kind of put it in a composable if you're going to be using it, in multiple places, which in this case, the difficulty for me became when I was trying to get this login button that you see up here working properly, because when you log in, then it's got to do the login first of all and do the routing and that kind of stuff. But then it's also got to, why is this song so much louder than the last one? Whatever. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so it was doing the token change, but it wasn't actually updating the UI because the UI is already, it's like already there, and it's already hydrated, and it no longer has access. Like it was having a weird gap between when the server side thing processed and when the rehydration happened. It was losing it. So every time I would log in, my log out button would not change. But if I had to refresh the page, it would have that token in there, and it would go ahead uh, and do the status I wanted. So I finally fixed that, which now that I know the pattern that I'm going to use for that, it's fine. It's fine. I don't know if I actually need this anymore. Let me see if I can get rid of this watcher, because I don't... no, I can't get rid of the watcher, because even though this token is getting its state from use cookie, when I change the state of that of this token right here, I'm still not actually updating the cookie. So I have to watch that value so that I can actually remove the cookie when a person does a log out. So yeah, lots of like really finicky weird things. So if this was a client-side rendered only app, then you would just store the thing in local storage. When the person logged out, you would just remove it from local storage, and you wouldn't be wondering, am I in the back end right now? Am I in the front end right now? What's going on? And yeah, so it's a little finicky. So now I'm looking at my dashboard, and I have a router, or I'm using their middleware functionality. So you can define middleware that does something on route change, but the way that their docs describe it, nope, this is composable, so I want to go to middleware. What you do here is you do your middleware. So this is essentially what I'm doing here. If there's no cookie, then no token cookie, then I'm navigating them back to the home page. The issue I have with this so far is then inside of every page that I want this router middleware to run on, I have to do this define page meta middleware thing. And you can see that right here on my dashboard page. I have this define meta middleware auth. And you have to say that for every page that you're going to do this on. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to put this little bit of boilerplate into every page. I think that's ridiculous. So I tried putting it onto the layout. So I created two layouts, a default layout and a dashboard layout, which would be my logged in area. And I put this define page meta onto that. But when in the server side part, it kept throwing me errors saying, hey, define page meta is only usable inside of pages. It's not, you can't do it inside of a layout. So now I'm trying to figure out, can I do that in a layout, or can I specify it somewhere else on routes? But I don't want to do it in every page. I want it to just happen all the time, because I'm basically going to have one route that is not an authorized route, and then every other route is going to be authorized. So I don't want to define this on every page I create. That's crazy. That's crazy. Ordering when middleware runs. If your site is server-side rendered or generated, which is the default, by the way, middleware for the initial page will be executed both when the page is rendered and then again on the client. This might be needed if your middleware needs a browser environment. However you want to behavior this, adding middleware dynamically. I want this to run all the time. So let's go back to this, and we'll just say we're going to console log middleware ran. And I need to bring up the terminal because this... Alright, middleware ran. But does it run still if I remove this? I don't believe it will. Alright, let's reload the page. Nope, middleware does not run anymore. Add router middleware. Wait, so it's possible to add global or named route middleware manually using the add route middleware helper function, such as from within a plugin. Are you telling me I'm not going to be able to do this from your middleware directory? Maybe I need setup.global. Nuxt provides 2 globally available helpers that can be returned directly from middleware. Yeah, navigate to... nothing... Okay, alright. So if I run... Okay, so if I rename this file... instead of it being auth, if I name it auth.global... I always hit escape. You gotta hit enter. Rename. Auth.global. Well, I might just kill the server and bring it back up. Now let's see if we see middleware ran. So it runs twice. And I swear this is like this is like the whole like use what is it with React, that whole use hook or whatever, it runs twice. Well, this is running twice, but for a completely different reason. It's running twice because it's running once as it's server-side rendered, and it's running a second time as the client-side hydration happens. So whatever you do in here is going to run twice, unless you do that little gimmick they had here that will make it run in only one context. But you can't do that. You can't do that realistically, because when you're navigating around the application, if the user is just clicking around once the page has been hydrated, everything is happening client side. But if you refresh the page, or you do something that for whatever reason has to do a full app re-render, then it's going to run twice. So, you know, there's just another little gotcha that you have to keep in the back of your mind if you're going to do this. So, alright, so we've got this middleware running globally. So that means that if I look here, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so that we can see our this a little bit better. We're going to go to application, and we're going to clear this cookie. So let's find our cookies, expand that, grab it. Here's our token cookie. I'm going to clear it, and if I refresh this page, it should send me back to the login. No. What did it do? Detected an infinite redirection in a navigation guard when going from dashboard to slash. Alright. Okay, so what is the issue? So we're saying const token await. Okay, we don't need to await. Use cookie is not an await. Get cookie, is that a thing? I don't have the event here, the H3 event. Okay. All right, so we've got the cookie value. If there's no value, return to slash. But once we return to slash, all right, so so we basically need to say, like, if you're not on the home page, then do this thing. So what's a nice clean way to do that? If there's no token, and let's change this, we'll use the no, we want the from. Yep. Okay. And from dot path is not equal to slash. And we do that. Otherwise, we don't do anything. All right. Let's see what from console log. I think I'm thinking this right. From that path. Okay. Oh, no. No, I'm not thinking correctly. Is this all we have? We have... Is there anything else here? We have to, and we have from. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to repeat. I don't want to repeat that. I need it to say once you've landed here. So is it not routing to that? If from dot path is not equal to slash, then if we have a token, or if we don't have a token, I mean, this is kind of the logic I want, but this, if I'm right, this will happen twice. It's not infinite. It shouldn't be infinite. It should happen once. Maybe navigate 2 is doing a replace instead of doing a push. They have an abort function, abort navigation. This should not be infinite. Console log from path. Yeah. If there's no token, return navigate to slash See, why does that repeat 7 times? Shouldn't it navigate to slash, and then the next time it runs, it should be on the home page trying to run this? Is there a way to check if you're on the back end or the front end? Not really, no. You just kind of assume that you're always in the back end and that everything is going to re-render. Middleware runs on the server side. But yeah, you kind of just have to know, okay, if I'm doing stuff in this folder or in this area of the application, this is back end. Yeah, it's very, and you've also got to know what part of the hydration cycle you're in, because once you get to like on mounted or like one of those functions, then you're client side. Yeah. Well, this logic will run on the server side. What I want is I want the current path. I don't really want to or from. I want the current path. Can I have the router? Do I have access to the router here? Or route? I do. Okay. That's perfect. That's what I actually wanted. I didn't really want to or from. Okay, so we say route equals use route. And we say if we don't have a token and route dot path is not equal to slash, then we navigate to the home page. That should not be an infinite. Okay, if route path is not equal to slash. We're gonna do this. So that'll be the first check we do. Otherwise, we just return. What the heck? Path does not equal foo and no window. And we don't have the window. I don't know. It doesn't seem like something. Yeah, you don't have access to the window object here. Okay, let's try this opposite way. So if we have a token, we're just going to return. Right? We don't care. If we have a token, we don't care. No. Okay, let's do a log here to see what the deal is. What is that? Not at home. Not at home. Why did that run in the client? Why? Why did that run in the client? Is it because route is only... No, we saw route. What the heck? Why is this all... Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, that's what I expected to happen. I expected it to run once in the server and then once... Wait, maybe this is my issue. It's running that thing twice. It ran that 6 times on startup. No. 3 times. 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 3. Let's see if it runs at 3 again. No, it runs it twice. I mean, I've got route. Why can't I just do this? Replace. Will that also run infinitely? I guess so. This is wild. No. Okay, it's crashed. What about if we have the token or route path is nothing, we return. Right? That should protect us from an infinite loop, right? No. How does that not protect us from an infinite loop? How? That should not happen infinitely. Right? Am I crazy? Am I losing my mind here? I mean, what if we stack these guards? So if we have a token, return. If our route path is that, return. If the from path, return. Why does it? I mean, it's getting here. What, server. So we're at dashboard. So we go to not at home, dashboard, and then it should navigate to slash, but it doesn't. It does not do that. Maybe we have to use one of these abort things. I don't want to skip if we're running a client side. Abort. Okay. No, this is so stupid. I swear this doesn't make any freaking sense. I think it's the fact that it's getting hydrated is the issue. Maybe there's a different way to load the defined page meta. Is that what we need? Does it actually need to return false? Okay. Nope. What in the world? I don't understand. From guard? Let's get rid of that. It's dashboard. So that's fine, and it passes. We don't have a token, so it passes. The current route path is not slash, so it passes. So then we return, we navigate, we're supposed to navigate to slash. At which point it should then land on this again and try to rerun, but it shouldn't. But then does it run again? That must be what it's doing. See, that's what they're doing here. This right here is exactly what I'm trying to do. If we're not authenticated and we're not on the home page, I mean, okay. Let's do that exact logic. If not authenticated, because that's what the token's checking, and what are they using? The 2. Okay, the 2 _2. We'll use the path is not equal to slash, but the 2. But we're not trying to navigate to slash. We're trying to navigate to dashboard. But we can't because, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. I don't understand what is wrong with my logic, but okay. But I do understand. So if we don't have a token and we're not going to the home page, then we do this. If we're going to the home page, it doesn't matter. Like this shouldn't let's test this. Yeah. Console log shouldn't run. So we're on the home page. So this should not run. Correct. All right. All right, that was long and difficult for no reason. Okay, so let's log in again. Go away. Okay. Now we have the tokens, so we should be fine here. Yep. Then we remove the token. And we refresh, and we go back to the login. Perfect. Perfect. That's exactly what we want to do. And we don't need to import the router. And we don't need these brackets. We can make this a one-liner. Yep. Okay, let's define or exclude the word Nuxt, please. I don't know how to add it to spelling. There we go. Ignore the word Nuxt. Yes. For me all the time. Okay. Cool. So now we have login working. What's not saved here? I don't know. Alright, and does our log out? Well, that button's not working anymore. Let's go look at that. That's in the nav bar. Navigate to /login. So we should be getting an error there because it should be trying to navigate and we don't actually have that page. Let's just say what this was working before. Do we have a console error? No match. Oh, well, that's perfect. There, you're right. There is no match. There, that doesn't exist. So, now, will it tell me no infinite redirects, or like you're already on that route? No, it doesn't care about that. Alright, well, it's not going to do anything for now because we don't have... Actually, we don't even need to show this. We're not going to show a login button, which I spent a long time making that work, but oh well. Because for the moment, it's just going to be right there. We don't have a home page yet. We just have a login page. Okay, so once we log in, we get to the dashboard. I don't want these console logs, so let's get rid of them. We don't need that. Alright. At the moment, we're just logging that error if there is an error. So, like, if somebody types in something stupid here, we're currently just logging that error. That's another interesting thing. So when I was looking at this, so I made an API route. Where are you, API route? I'll log in. Yeah. Okay. And so when somebody submits something to the login route, we create a Pocket Base connection. We then are getting the pieces of of the body of their request. Then we do the login with Pocket Base right here, and then I am storing that token in local storage because that was my original thought, was to put that in local storage. You can't actually use local storage from, like, right here. This is running on the back end. You don't actually have access to local storage, so I can just remove that. So that's why I'm setting a cookie. I'm setting this cookie token. The weird thing is, so it then returns a payload, right? And my thought was, well, if if auth data is, because I think it can be, if the token auth data.token, if we don't have it, I was going to just return payload error error, right? That was my thought. And then otherwise return the normal payload. But for whatever reason, once again, I'll go to the console, clear it, and we submit that. And instead of returning the error that I want to return, it's returning 400 bad request, which that is what is happening. There's a 400 happening on Pocketbase's side saying, you know, well, let's see the actual error. Console log auth data.token. I believe this just comes back as undefined. I might have to restart the server. Yeah, we get a 400. Maybe Pocketbase is throwing a 400? Because I'm not getting this console log either in the back end. Well, I didn't give it a... Maybe it's just... there is no auth token. Maybe it's just getting swallowed and we're just not seeing it. No, it's not there. It's just nowhere. But yeah, I wanted to return an actual error that I could handle in the front end, because I want to do some error messaging on the form. But yeah, it returns a fetch error. I don't know why it can't return my error. Maybe I need to surround this in a try-catch. Yes, I bet that will... What was I returning before? I was returning payload with token. So payload token. It's an object there. Alright. Come on, give me my error message. No, it's just giving me nothing. Sweet. There. There's my error. Or there's my here. Okay. Wait. Why is it not? What are you saying? Property token does not exist on token string. What? It's right there. If it's got a value and data.value.payload and data.value.payload.token. Payload has a token. It says so right there. And it has an optional error. But it says the error is undefined. How about that? You be happy now? Yes, now you're happy. Why aren't you... We should have an empty token. Why? Are you doing a network request? Let's clear this. It tries to do a fetch. It returns an error and an empty token. So... What if I say error? No. Payload dot error. No. It shouldn't get here because there's no token. It should instead get here. Yes. Yes. Okay, now we can actually handle our error in the front end. Alright. That was just me being stupid. Um, Alright, if data.value, and then let's just say and data value.payload.token, we're gonna do all this stuff. Else, we're gonna console log. We gotta return after this as well. Return. That way it doesn't get down here. Data.value.payload.error. I mean, error doesn't exist. You're gonna make me do this, are ya? Gonna make me define nested ifs. So if we don't, then console return console.log data.value.payload.error. It's error. We're talking about token. You don't. Okay, so in this case, man, I don't want to return error all the time. That is quite a error. All right, now we are using FormKit for our login form. So let's see, according to the docs, how do we do validation? Or I don't want to do validation, I want to throw an error. I mean, it's, yeah, for an entire group. Is there like an error? Validity state? Resetting error handling. There we go. Form errors. These are displayed at the bottom of the form above the submit button. Sweet. Okay, so that's exactly what I want. So in here we just say like const errors equal use state, because we can't use ref errors, and they're just an empty array. Yeah. And if there is an error, then the return is the last thing we do. So we say errors.value equals payload dot. No. For now, we're just gonna say invalid credentials. And it's not equal, we need to push it into the array. Come on. You don't like that. You don't like that. Argument of string is not assignable to type never. Okay, as array of, no, string array. There. So when we do something wrong, oh yeah, we gotta say, let's see, errors. We gotta bind it is equal to errors. Invalid credentials as a bullet point. Interesting. That doesn't go away. Why? I feel like, I honest to goodness feel like this framework is fighting me at every turn. It's not clearing the errors when we change route. So if we're successful, we're also going to clear the errors. Why did we not go to dashboard? We went to dashboard that time. And so this bug, I kind of have an idea of what it is, because if you watch, if I do a refresh render, that's going to SSR, then we type in the password, we hit submit, there was no error, it moved us to the dashboard. We are now client-side rendered. We're now client-side. No more server-side happening. We log out. Client-side routed back. So when we submit. It doesn't do it. Well, why are we using router? That's not the Nuxt one. Navigate to. Right? Gotta use that one. So let's log out. Nope. You can tell it is switching our layout because we've got our logout button there. So the layout is changing as it's supposed to. But we're not routing. Do we route? Let's see if we even get here. Log out again. We get to this point right here. Okay, so let's move our console log to here. Log out. I should have cleared that because I'm not sure what happened there. Yep, we definitely get to do you route. Maybe that has to be returned. That doesn't seem to make a difference. Why are we not going? Use router. Push. Now, I'm not sure. This should actually be throwing me an error because use router push is a promise. So this should actually be return void. Is it our global? Is it our off global? I bet this is it. I think it's not routing because of this. So it's undefined. It shouldn't be undefined. How do we log out? I must have hit log out and I didn't realize. Yep. Oh, wait. No, this is server side. What? How did we get here? That token just came as undefined, and yet I need to go to the app because I've got some console logs in here. Oh, wait. I just didn't save that page. Okay. Log out. The token is undefined. We're client side now because we see that in the browser and not in the console. The token's still undefined. It doesn't know. It doesn't know. Because we're using cookie. We're using cookie. it's no longer server side. It's now client side. Bananas. That's what this is. This is bananas. See, we're actually authenticated right now. If we look at our cookie. Oh no, the cookie's gone. Something we did cleared the cookie. That's not good. Token came back as undefined. But now we're using state. It shouldn't be undefined because we set it. Didn't we? Is it not called PV token? Is it just called token? Yeah, the state is just called token. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at our auth state. So we've got a set token. And is that what we're doing when we log in? Actually, we're not. That's not. We're not supposed to be doing that. Set. I wonder if that's gonna work. No, it didn't actually set it. Did it? Did it? Why? Why didn't it set it? And you can see that I've got the token. The token's there. And it's coming through it's coming through undefined on the server and coming through. Jeez. This is just a terrible, terrible experience as far as I'm concerned. There's the cookie. It's absolutely defined. But here's my guess is that at this point right here, it's not defined. Const cookie equals use cookie token console log the cookie value. The cookie is not undefined. The cookie's right there. I was using use cookie a bit ago, wasn't I? Yeah. Use cookie.value. Oh, it's the wrong. Okay. Redo that. It's come back as undefined because it's not token. It's the cookie is underscore PB. token. Yeah. Yep. The front end's a champion. It knows that it's there both times. The back end has no idea what's going on now. The cookie is there. The cookie. So what was wrong with Cookie before? Oh, I know what was wrong with Cookie before. Ah, that's so dumb. I'm gonna keep it Cookie so that we know it's the cookie. I think it was getting unbound. Yeah, because I was binding it to dot value, it was getting dereferenced. That was the issue. Alright. Cookie is a champion. We'll keep the cookie. I tell you what. This is kind of hard. And we refresh the page, and we're still here. And what if we manually clear the cookie? And we refresh. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to happen. Okay, it looks like if you saw that little jump, it looks like our theme. Yeah, there we go. Our layout is not changing. So we should be able to look somewhere here. The Nuxt layout, dashboard. It should not be dashboard right now. No, it shouldn't be dashboard because we don't have a cookie. See? No cookie. So it's using the dashboard layout. That doesn't make any sense because doesn't make any sense. Yep, it's definitely using the dashboard layout. Okay, let's go back to app. I thought we had this nailed down. So layout. We're using state layout. Maybe I've got to move this out into a composable. We get the token. Maybe we don't need all this logic. Alright, I'm expecting default. No? If that's correct, that means that we still have that means this hasn't been cleared properly. No, it's undefined. So if it's undefined, I have this wrong. No, I don't. No, I don't. That was correct. If we have a token. Now it should change to dashboard. But we didn't see anything there. And it didn't log out. No, it's not changing. That's why I had this like that. So it wouldn't lose reactivity. Default. I guess I do need that watcher. Yeah, I do need the watcher. But we're just gonna watch layout. No. Okay, that's why I had all that mess. But something is wrong with my mess. So if it has a value, then it's dashboard, and if it's not a default, yeah, should be const. Log out. Now we need to use the view tools. Come on, why are you not displaying the stuff? Hello? Display your values, please. I did select a component. Why are you not showing me anything? Ah! What is going on? Okay, I'm gonna close Edge and reopen it. Edge. Don't go to Microsoft. I think it's 3,000. Was that because Chrome wanted to update? Is that all that was? Okay, layout is dashboard, which is not right. Yep, undefined. So when it's undefined, should be default. You're not supposed to be dashboard. Yeah, it's dashboard. Log out is default. So that is working correctly. But on reload, Why is it Okay, let me make sure that this is coming from where I think it is. Default. Yep. When it's not initiated. What if I just... Okay. So maybe I'm just being a little too tricky there. Maybe I should just say it's default. And then when I log in, changes to dashboard, log out, it's default, refresh, it's default. Okay, all right, I was just being too tricky for my own good. All right, and we're watching this authorized value. We could say use state token dot value, I think. Let's see if this still works. Default dashboard default. Perfect. We can get rid of that line. Okay, so we've got our layout properly changing, and since we don't have a token right now, if we go to /dashboard, it'll spit us back out here. Do we keep the correct layout? We do. So yeah, I think that's our login completely working. But wow, this was super quirky. At least I feel like. What do you guys think? Anybody who's watching, do you think this is super quirky, or do you think this is very normal, that I'm getting confused over nothing? Or do you also think that this is a little bit spaghetti? The thing with like a dedicated back-end front-end is you very much know when you're in the back-end or when you're in the front-end. When you're in the front-end, you really only are concerned with front-end things. You know where the front-end things are. And with this, I'm always in the front end and I'm always in the back end, essentially. And at the same time, I might always be in the front end or I might always be in the back end. Yeah. Not for you. Yeah, I figured that. It's very confusing. I don't know if I'm just confused, or if this is actually as confusing as it feels like. Maybe I'm just dense here. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe I'm just being dense. One thing this framework really, really likes that I think would get out of hand very quickly is all of these use state things that I'm using. And the reason I'm using them is because they say to use it instead of ref, because of the SSR. But every single one of these is global. Look at this. When we mouse over this function, it says create a global reactive ref that will be hydrated but not shared across SSR requests. So this key that is being used for this state that I've just created here in this particular page is now accessible and usable in the entire application. And that key is also now used up. It's now, yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. Because there are, and I think this goes for this framework as a whole and all these types of frameworks. Maybe it's just this framework. I haven't used the other full stack JavaScript frameworks enough to know this, but there is so much like ease of use type things here that we're following these methodologies everywhere, regardless of whether it makes sense or not. There are times where you absolutely need a global state object, a global reference to things. But there are also many times where you do not need a global reference to state. But because they're doing this goofy SSR stuff, they're recommending to use state instead of ref. So let's go back. We'll make sure that I'm not misspeaking. We'll go to use state. Right here. Oh, this isn't the one I wanted. There we go. State management. Now use state, yeah, well that's the same for ref. Well, no, that's not the same for ref. Never, best practices, this is what they're saying for best practices. Never define const state ref outside of script setup or setup function. Such state will be shared across all visitors using your website and can lead to memory links. Okay, so maybe I'm misunderstanding here. They're not saying not to use ref. They're saying don't use ref in your composables, essentially. Well, no, outside of script setup or the setup function. So don't use it. What? Don't use it in like your utility files? Such state will be shared across all users visiting your site and can lead to memory leaks. I mean, the only time I can think of using ref outside of setup would be if you're making some type of utility file that you want reactive state in for whatever reason. But does that mean that they're totally okay with you using ref? Because if that's the case, I would definitely use ref here. So let's try it. This is in a setup file. So this says never define ref outside of script setup. Well, I'm not outside of script setup. So ref default. Default. On refresh, are you still default? Yep. Dashboard. Log out. Default. Okay. So that's working perfectly. So don't use ref outside of script setup. I wonder if that's a Nuxt thing or if that's a general. Is it possible to memory leak using ref outside of script setup? Such state will be shared across all users visiting your website and can lead to memory leaks. That is Google worthy. Using ref outside of script setup. I'm told that I should never define ref outside of script setup since it will be shared. I want to use view use breakpoints. I sent This is closely related to Vue's response system. You don't need to worry about memory leaks when using compiler tools like Nuxt. However, here another problem is that React system cannot determine the dependencies and when to unmount. If you want to declare once and use globally, use Pinia. Otherwise, use this code. Uh-huh. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, see, if you want to use them like a story, that you'd have to use them outside of script setup. I'm baffled a little bit. It is a Nuxt thing because they are technically running a web server. Okay. Okay. Alright. Well, I can buy that. Okay. Okay, this was a very long path to being able to do this. One thing I don't like at the moment, this is just a visual thing, is that login button is so big. It's pushing this thing to be way big. So let's see the nav bar. We won't worry about that for now. I think that's where I'm going to leave it. It's 5 o'clock. I'll go inside, say hello to the family. This has definitely been interesting. I feel a little more comfortable using this tool now that I've played with it to try to find where the edges are and where the server and the client rendering are happening. Would I continue to use this, or does it deliver value that I would consider using again? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. I do not know the answer. Thanks. I do not know the answer to that because there's a the development, the whole promise of this thing basically is that you don't need a front end and back end. You have one solution for all, and that, yeah, your one project is everything. But I think personally that this just kind of it delivers a not so good back end experience, like a not very good back end experience at all, and it provides a worse front end developer experience. Now, the performance of this is pretty good. Like, I can tell things are rendering super fast, and the page navigation is super nice. whether you're initially loading or navigating through, it's fast. Now, I don't have a lot of stuff happening on these pages, so I'm sure that's the largest contributing factor to everything being fast. Can we run a lighthouse score? I know it's not totally accurate because we're doing development right now, but I wouldn't mind having a little development benchmark. You do get SEO, which is something that you don't get. Yeah, 78 SEO. So that is good for a JavaScript framework. But I guess the thing that I'm thinking about is, you have Nuxt, right? But you also have projects out there like Laravel, which has Inertia.js, where you're adding on Vue to your Laravel app. So if you really want a project with just one code base, why not? And you want to use Vue, why not use Laravel? Yes, you've got to learn some PHP, but you've got access to a full and proper backend and API. The only reason that this kind of works is because I'm using a service, Pocketbase, and so my API just needs to go contact Pocketbase, which is the actual backend. So there's still a backend here, like more than what Nuxt is providing. I mean, I could have a SQLite database here, or even a SQLite database here, or there's probably a way I could embed SerialDB. Why not Express and Vue or React? One code base, one language. I mean, you have a point, but I actually, even though I do not do PHP development regularly, and haven't for a long time, I think that Laravel's documentation and their development framework is easier to use than Express. I know that's a hot take, but I actually think the developer experience is much more simple in Laravel than Express, even though I know JavaScript better than I know PHP. Their documentation is outstanding. It really is. So yeah, I guess I could use Express, but I don't necessarily like it very much. So yeah, I guess you could use Express and Vue, and that would be okay as well. I guess whatever pages you want to be SSR, you actually just produce them from React. The big downside I see to that is you'll have to install your You have to install Tailwind or whatever in both your backend Express and Vue, so that your server your pages that your server side rendering from Express are match the Vue one. So you'll have to create a library. I guess that's not a big deal. You create a library that's usable by both. Yeah, I mean that can work too. You're right, that can work too. I definitely would use Dino over Express though. Dino does give you, as somebody who's a front end developer almost exclusively, Dino does seem more simple because it uses web APIs instead of just random node whatever. Express is well documented, but I think like Oak on Dino is probably equally well documented. Maybe not equally, but it's well documented as well. I guess what I would say, like the using Express in Vue or Dino in Vue or whatever, that is definitely a good option. The reason I was saying use SQLite or SurrealDB like in an embedded database of some sort with Nuxt is because if you are going to all the trouble to use Nuxt, I think you shouldn't also be bolting on a full back end. Maybe. I don't know that what they're giving you. Yeah. If you've got a full back end, I don't know why I'm reaching for Nuxt. Just for SSR? Just for file-based routing? That's a hard sell for me. I think I can buy it if it's your one thing. But once you start separating it, once you have a proper separate backend, I just don't see how it makes sense. Yeah, but it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Wait, how did I get here? I shouldn't be on this page. Oh man, I've got a bug. Something's not working right. Where's my bug coming from now? Man, my view tools have crashed again? Yep, why am I coming back to here? It's sending me to the default layout. it's because of that. I do not like that flicker. Hydration mismatch. Why is this component crashing? It's like crashing my whole edge. I wanted to go and now I'm fixated. that works. Alright, well, everything's working. I don't see any bugs, so I'm gonna run away before I notice another one. Nope, now I've got that again. Yep. That's why I refactored it. Because token.value is undefined, so it should come back as default. If I refresh, default. Dashboard, default. Yeah, I'm still... Bizarre. See, if this is truly reactive, I should just be able to say token if it's there, dashboard, else, default, oh man, I hate that flicker. I hate that flicker so much. It's actually doing what it's supposed to though. Okay, I'll have to deal with the flicker separately. Alright, take it easy. Have a good one.